I just got denied from Walmart as a cashier. I have a fucking master's degree, bro. I went to school for 12 years, got my high school degree. I went to for 4 years to get my bachelor's, and then I went for an extra 2 years to get my fucking master's. Do you know how much school that is? It's a lot. And the worst part is, maybe it's the best part actually. America, the government probably thinks it's the best part, huh? I'm $120,000 in debt. Yeah, because society wants to tell you to go to school, go to college, get your degree, Timmy. Oh my God, job security. Shut up. Please stop spreading that, because now I'm screwed and I have no idea what to do. I've applied to over 300 companies and I've gotten responses back from 11 of them. Why the fuck do you think I'm applying to Walmart to be a cashier? Because no one is hiring. Why do you even post a job offering if you're not gonna hire anyone or respond? What are people doing for work? I need to figure something out. Because if I wasn't doing UGC for brands that I found on SideShift, my ass would be homeless. I would be fucking homeless.
Overqualified. That's the word they use when they don't want to hire you. Not underqualified, not unskilled. Well, wait a minute, they use unskilled too, as an excuse not to hire you for your skills. And then they go ahead and they abuse H-1B visas and hire migrants from the third world. Isn't that convenient? Overqualified. Think about how insane that actually is. You spent years doing exactly what they told you to do. Get educated, get skilled, improve yourself. And now the problem is, you did it too well. I saw this post the other day. A guy says he wouldn't hire someone with a master's degree for a basic job because he knows he'll leave. So instead of hiring someone capable, he'd rather hire someone stuck. That's the part nobody wants to admit. Overqualified doesn't mean you're too good. It means they don't want to deal with someone who has options. Because if you have options, you can leave. You can ask questions. You can question things. You don't have to tolerate nonsense. That's the real problem. When this mentality becomes widespread, you don't get a healthy workforce. You get a trapped one. Because the people who did everything right end up stuck cycling paycheck to paycheck anyway. Not because they lack ability, but because nobody wants to hire ability. Don't pretend this is rare. This mindset is everywhere. So what happens? The most capable people don't move up. We don't build. We don't launch. We stall. Let's stop pretending this just suddenly appeared out of nowhere, or that it's some brand new problem affecting Gen Z. This has been crushing millennials for well over a decade. We've been living this since 2008. We've been calling it out, warning about it, explaining exactly what would happen, and what did we get? Name calling. We're called entitled, lazy, snowflakes. We're told to just work harder. The warning signs were there, and instead of listening, society dismissed us. And now everyone acts surprised that nothing works. Don't give me this sorry cope that a degree doesn't measure intelligence. It absolutely does. It shows someone committed years to learning, to mastering a field, to proving we can follow through on something difficult. The real question isn't whether we're capable. It's whether what we studied translates to your specific role, or how quickly we can adapt. That's a normal question for any hire. But suddenly, that same background becomes a liability. That's what doesn't make any sense. Because plenty of people across generations before us didn't end up working directly in what they studied. That's never been unusual. What's changed is how that experience is being treated now, singularly against millennials. Let's be real about this. If someone with a degree is applying to Chipotle or Target, that's not about chasing luxury. That's someone trying to survive, trying to pay rent, trying to eat. That's not a red flag, boomers. That's a signal about the economy. If a college graduate is applying to stock shelves, the economy is already in trouble. That's the reality. This fear of someone leaving too quickly. If that's really the concern, then solve it. Set expectations. Use short-term commitments. Businesses already do this with seasonal workers all the time. You already hired teenagers for the summer and don't expect them to stay for 40 years. So why is it suddenly impossible to hire a capable adult for a few months? If someone wants to work and you need labor, then what exactly is the problem? We know what the problem is. At the end of the day, this isn't about fit, it's about cost. The term overqualified just means you're good enough to do the job, excellent in fact, but not desperate enough to stay for cheap. So they look for someone just qualified enough for the lowest possible price. That's it. That's the game. What do you get when you build a workforce like that? You get mediocrity, mediocre workers, mediocre products, mediocre service. And we all feel it. It's everywhere. Things don't work like they used to. Quality is down across the board, and nobody wants to admit why. Then everyone turns around and asks why people are struggling, why people can't afford rent, why people can't get married, why the birth rate is low, why nothing works, why entire generations aren't moving forward. Maybe it's because the people capable of doing better aren't being allowed to. Maybe it's because when you do everything right, it still gets used against you. Oh, but then you get the usual solutions. Just join the military. Think about that one for a second. You're telling someone they're too qualified to stock shelves so they can feed themselves, but your answer is for them to go risk their life. That's not a solution. That's an escalation. That's taking a basic economic problem and turning it into something far more extreme. What do you think that creates? People proudly, patriotically choosing that path? Or disgruntled non-civilians who feel like they had no other option? Then there's the other solution. Start your own business. Okay, gladly. But with what capital? That's always the part they skip. Starting a business requires money, time, and a margin for failure. If someone is applying to entry-level jobs just to stay afloat, they don't have that cushion. You can't bootstrap your way out of zero, boomer. You need stability first. Then you can take risks. That's what's so frustrating about all of this. These aren't real solutions. They're ways to avoid the actual problem. People are willing to work, capable of working, and are still being filtered out. So you end up in this absurd position where you apply for jobs you know you can do and get rejected, not because you lack value, but because you have too much of it. And then they spin it like they're helping you. You'll get bored. You'll leave too fast. No! You're afraid I will leave. That's the difference. And you should expect that I will leave. You should expect that smart people will thrive and try to see higher up, to shoot for the stars, instead of looking down and wondering about our place in the dirt. If someone is willing to take the job at the pay you offered, with the requirements you set, then they are not overqualified. You just don't want to hire someone who sees the situation clearly. And this is where it all connects. You want to know why people can't get ahead, why people can't build lives, why everything feels stuck? Because you're actively filtering out the very people capable of fixing it. Too unskilled, rejected. Too skilled, also rejected. What exactly are we supposed to do?
Well, we used to look up in the sky and wonder at our place in the stars. Now we just look down and worry about our place in the dirt.